Imagine for a moment you are driving a car down a dark highway at night. You are going 70 miles an hour, and suddenly the low fuel light blinks on. Your stomach drops. You look at the dashboard and you realize something terrifying. The tank is empty. Not just low, empty. There is no gas station in sight. There is no exit ramp, just the endless dark road ahead. So what do? You grip the steering wheel tighter. You turn off the radio to concentrate. You hold your breath, and you pray that the fumes alone will carry you a few more miles. If you are watching this right now, that car is not a metaphor. That car is your life. And you have been driving on empty, not for a few miles, but for years. You are the woman who keeps going when everyone else would have stopped. You are the woman who smiles at the grocery store clerk while your insides feel like they are crumbling. You wake up tired. You go to work tired. You take care of your family tired. And society tells you to just grab another coffee, to push through, to hustle harder. But I am here to tell you something different. Something your body has been screaming at you. Pushing harder right now is not the answer. It is the danger. This video is your emergency pull-off. This is your permission slip to stop the car. Right here, right now. We are not going to talk about time management hacks or how to squeeze more productivity out of your day. That is what got you here in the first place. Instead, we are going to open a survival guide based on the deep wisdom of Carl Jung. We are going to explore why your energy has vanished and where it actually went. Jung taught us that energy never truly disappears. It just retreats. It goes underground, into the shadow, when the demands of the surface world become too heavy to bear. If you feel completely drained, if you feel like you have nothing left to give to your children, your partner, or your aging parents, please listen to me. You are not broken. You are just in survival mode. And today, we're going to learn how to survive without losing your soul in the process. Take a deep breath. Let the shoulders drop. You are safe here. Let us begin. Let us look under the hood of your life for a moment. To understand why you are running on fumes, we have to look at the machinery of your body and your mind. Because what you are feeling right now is not a character flaw. It is not laziness, and it is certainly not a lack of willpower. It is biology. And it is a profound psychological shift. First, let us talk about the biology of the sandwich generation. For the last 2 decades, your body has likely been swimming in a chemical soup of stress hormones, specifically cortisol. You see, the human nervous system was designed to handle short bursts of stress. A tiger chases you, you run, you survive, and then your nervous system resets to calm. But for you, the tiger never leaves the room. The tiger is the constant worry about your aging mother's health. The tiger is the tuition bill for your child. The tiger is the demanding email from your boss at 9 at night.
The tiger is the hormonal shift happening inside your own body as you navigate menopause or perimenopause. When you live in this state of high alert for years, your brain actually rewires itself. It gets stuck in the on position. You might find that even when you have a moment to rest, you cannot relax. You sit down to watch a movie, but your mind is scanning the room for things to fix. You lay down to sleep, but your body is vibrating with a low-level hum of anxiety. This is what I call functional exhaustion. You are functioning, yes, you are getting things done, but the engine is overheating, and the fuel line is dry. To illustrate this, I want to introduce you to a woman named Elena. She is 52 years old, and she told me something that broke my heart because I have heard it from so many of you. Elena keeps her cell phone on her nightstand right next to her head every single night, and the volume is turned all the way up. She does this because her father is 85 and lives alone. She does this because her daughter is away at college and going through a hard time. She does this because she is the emergency contact for everyone in her life. She sleeps, but she never rests. One part of her brain is always listening, always waiting for the ringtone that means disaster. She is like a first responder who never gets to go off duty. She told me, "I feel like I'm holding my breath, even when I'm sleeping." Maybe you are Elena. Maybe your phone is your anchor to anxiety. Or maybe it's just the mental list that scrolls behind your eyelids the moment the lights go out. This constant state of hypervigilance drains your battery faster than any physical labor ever could. It burns through your reserves, and it leaves you feeling hollowed out. But biology is only half the story. If we stop there, we're just talking about stress management, and we're here to go deeper. We are here to talk about the soul. This is where the wisdom of Carl Jung offers us a lifeline. Jung had a very different way of looking at energy. He used the term libido. Now, do not let that word confuse you. In modern culture, we think libido means sex drive. But for Jung, libido meant something much bigger. He defined libido as psychic energy, life force, the vital energy that fuels your creativity, your will to live, your desire to connect, and your ability to engage with the world. Jung observed that in the first half of life, this libido flows outward. It flows into the world. It builds careers. It builds families. It builds reputations. It's like a river rushing downstream, powerful and directed toward the external world. But then comes midlife, and suddenly, that river seems to dry up. You lose interest in the things that used to motivate you. The promotion at work doesn't excite you. The perfectly clean house doesn't satisfy you. You might even feel a loss of love for things or people you care deeply about. This is terrifying. You might think you're becoming depressed or that you're becoming a cold person. But Jung called this phenomenon the regression of libido. And he did not see it as a pathology. He saw it as a necessary, natural process. He argued that the energy has not disappeared. Energy cannot be destroyed. So where did it go? It has turned inward. It has retreated from the surface of your life and gone underground, into the deep waters of your psyche. Think of a tree in winter. To the outside observer, the tree looks dead. The branches are bare. There is no fruit. There are no leaves. It looks like it has given up. But if you could see underground, you would see that the sap has not vanished. It has concentrated in the roots. It has gone deep to gather strength, to repair, to prepare for a new kind of growth that is not yet visible. You are in the winter of your energy. Your libido, your life force, has withdrawn from the external world because the external world is no longer where your growth lies. Your soul is no longer interested in the hustle. It is no longer interested in pleasing everyone. So it has pulled the plug on the energy supply that goes to those tasks. This is why you can physically force yourself to go to the grocery store, but you feel like you are dragging 1,000 pounds of lead. Your conscious mind says go, but your deep libido says no. It says, I'm not investing in this anymore. I'm busy doing something else down here in the dark. This regression of libido is a survival mechanism. It is your psyche protecting itself. If you continued to pour energy outward at the rate you did in your 30s, you would burn out completely. You would disintegrate. So your psyche initiates a shutdown. It forces a retreat. It feels like apathy. It feels like exhaustion. It feels like you are running on fumes. But actually, it's a retrieval mission. Your soul is calling your energy back home because it knows that the next chapter of your life, the chapter that comes after the survival mode, will require a different kind of fuel. So when you feel that bone-deep tiredness, when you feel that inability to care about the small drama of daily life, I want you to try to reframe it. Don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a withdrawal. You are withdrawing your investment from a world that has taken too much, and you're depositing it back into the vault of your own self. But here's the problem, and this is why you feel so terrible right now. Even though your energy has retreated inward, your life has not stopped demanding it outward. The world still wants its pound of flesh. The laundry still needs doing. The parents still need care. So you are in a state of friction, a tug of war. Your soul is pulling one way, and your life is pulling the other. And you are the rope being stretched until you fray. This tension is what causes the sensation of running on fumes. You are trying to drive the car forward while the engine is being dismantled for repair. It is painful, it is confusing, and it is incredibly lonely. But understanding this mechanism is the first step to survival. Once you realize that your exhaustion has a purpose, that it is not just your body giving up, but your soul taking a stand, you can stop fighting it quite so hard. You can stop judging yourself for being tired, and you can start to ask the question that matters. If my energy is down in the roots, what is it doing there? And how do I protect it while it does its work? To answer that, we have to look at the force that is guarding your energy. We have to look at the part of you that decided to pull the plug. We have to look at the shadow. Because in this story, the shadow is not the villain. The shadow is the one trying to save your life.
If you are running on fumes right now, it means there is a war happening inside you. And contrary to what you might think, the enemy is not your exhaustion. The enemy might actually be the part of you that keeps trying to push the gas pedal. To understand this, we have to look at the relationship between your persona and your shadow. In the first half of your life, you built a persona. You built the identity of the capable woman, the woman who can handle anything, the superwoman. This persona has been rewarded by society. It has been praised by your parents. It has been relied upon by your partner and your children. But here is the dangerous truth about the superwoman persona. She is a tyrant. She does not know when to stop. She does not respect limits. She believes that if she just works harder, she can bend reality to her will. She says things like, "I just need to get through this week," or "I will rest after the holidays." But the list of tasks never ends, and the rest never comes. So, who steps in to stop a tyrant? Who steps in when the king or the queen has gone mad with power and is destroying the kingdom? The shadow steps in. In Jungian psychology, we often think of the shadow as the dark basement where we hide our shame. But the shadow is also the guardian of our life force. It is the instinctual self. It is the animal inside you that knows exactly how much energy you have left, and it knows when you are about to die. Imagine your internal energy system is a bank. For 40 years, your persona, the superwoman, has been writing checks. She writes checks for emotional labor. She writes checks for physical caretaking. She writes checks for late-night worrying. She spends, and she spends, and she spends. Your shadow is the bank manager. For a long time, the shadow cashed those checks. But now, the shadow looks at the account and sees zero. Or worse, it sees a deficit that is threatening the structural integrity of the bank itself. So, what does the shadow do? It does the only responsible thing. It locks the vault. It freezes the assets. It declares a state of emergency. This is why you feel like you cannot move. This is why you look at a pile of laundry and feel like weeping. This is why you cannot muster the energy to care about your friend's problems right now. It is not because you are lazy. It is not because you are becoming a bad person. It is because the bank manager has cut you off. Your shadow has staged a coup to save your life. The exhaustion you feel, the heaviness in your limbs, the brain fog that makes it hard to focus, these are the security guards the shadow has placed around the vault. They are there to stop the superwoman from spending energy she does not have. I want you to pause with me for a moment. This is important. I want you to physically connect with this truth. Wherever you are sitting or lying down right now, take your hand and place it gently on your belly, right on your solar plexus. This is often where we hold the tension of the superwoman, the knot of anxiety that says, "I must do more." Feel the warmth of your hand. Take a slow breath into that space. And I want you to say a sentence to yourself. You can say it out loud or in your mind. Repeat after me. I do not have to save the world today. Say it again. I do not have to save the world today. One more time. Letting the shoulders drop. I do not have to save the world today. Do you feel that? That tiny bit of relief? That is your shadow exhaling. It is the relief of finally being heard. When you are in this state of deep depletion, your shadow creates symptoms that force you to stop. We often call this depression, or burnout, or chronic fatigue. And while these are real medical conditions that deserve attention, from a soul perspective,
they are protective measures as well. The word depress comes from the Latin deprimere, which means to press down. Your psyche is pressing you down. It is forcing you to go low, to go slow, to be close to the ground. Why? Because when you are low to the ground, you cannot fall any further. You are safe. And because the ground is where the roots are. Remember the tree in winter? You need to be down in the roots right now. The problem is, we fight this. We judge ourselves for it. We look at our lack of energy and we call it laziness. We call it failure. We look at other women who seem to be doing it all, and we think, what is wrong with me? Why can I not keep up? This comparison is poison. It creates a secondary layer of exhaustion. Now you are not only tired from doing things, you are tired from beating yourself up for not doing things. You are spending your remaining fumes on guilt. But Carl Jung would tell you that this state of inertia, this inability to act, is actually a form of active work. It is incubation. Think of a caterpillar inside a cocoon. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like the caterpillar is just sleeping. But inside that cocoon, the caterpillar is dissolving. It is literally turning into a soup before it can restructure itself into a butterfly. If you were to cut open the cocoon and try to make the caterpillar fly before it was ready, it would die. It needs the stillness. It needs the containment. It needs the time when it looks like it is doing nothing. You are in the cocoon phase of midlife. The old version of you, the one who pleased everyone, the one who had endless energy, is dissolving. She has to dissolve because she cannot go where you are going next. Your shadow is holding you in this state of suspension so that the transformation can happen. It feels uncomfortable because we live in a culture that worships the butterfly but despises the cocoon. We applaud the flight, but we shame the dissolving. But here is the secret. The more you fight the cocoon, the longer you stay in it. The more you struggle against the exhaustion, the more exhausted you become. Because fighting requires energy, and you do not have any to spare. So, how do we stop fighting? How do we cooperate with the shadow instead of resisting it? How do we exist in this space of nothingness without panicking? It requires a radical shift in how you navigate your day. It requires you to learn a new language of survival. A language in which no is a complete sentence, where rest is not a reward but a requirement, and where doing nothing is recognized as a valid form of doing something. We are going to move now from the philosophy to the practical. I am going to give you 3 specific survival steps. These are not things to add to your to-do list. These are ways to subtract. These are the emergency protocols when the tank is truly empty and you still have miles to go.
We have talked about the biology. We have talked about the soul. Now, we must talk about survival. Because understanding why the car is broken does not help you push it to the side of the road. You need actionable steps. But I am not going to give you a list of chores. I am not going to tell you to start a yoga practice or cook healthier meals. Those things require energy. And energy is exactly what you do not have. Instead, I am going to give you 3
emergency protocols. These are designed to stop the bleeding, to plug the leaks in your energy tank right now. Protocol number 1, radical disconnection, or what I call the cave. Your brain is currently processing too much data. Every text message, every news headline, every question from your family. It is all stimulating your nervous system, which is already fried. You need a cave, not a metaphorical one, a real one. Here is the instruction. Every single day, for just 15 minutes, you must create a sensory deprivation chamber. This could be your bedroom with the blackout curtains drawn. It could be your car parked down the street before you pull into the driveway. It could be the bathroom with the door locked. In this 15 minutes, there is no phone, no music, no podcast, no talking, and most importantly, no light if possible. You are going to lay down or sit still, and you are going to do absolutely nothing. You are not meditating, you are not praying. You are simply unplugging the machine from the wall. When you first do this, your brain will scream. It will remind you of 10 things you need to do. It will tell you that this is a waste of time. That is the voice of the panic. Ignore it. By removing sensory input, you're giving your cortisol levels a chance to drop, just a tiny bit. You are signaling to your primal brain that the tiger has left the room, even if just for 15 minutes. This is not a luxury. This is medicine. Protocol number 2, befriending the lazy shadow. We have been taught to hate laziness. We treat it like a sin. But in the animal kingdom, laziness does not exist. A lion sleeping in the sun for 20 hours is not lazy. It is efficient. It is conserving energy for the hunt. Your shadow knows this. When you feel that heavy, lead-like sensation in your limbs, when you just want to stare at the wall, that is not laziness. That is biological conservation. I want you to try a psychological trick. The next time you feel that wave of laziness hit you, instead of fighting against it, instead of drinking more coffee to push through it, I want you to lean into it. Say to yourself, I am conserving energy. I am like the lion. I am letting my batteries recharge. When you remove the judgment from the fatigue, you stop the energy leak of guilt. It is the guilt about being tired that drains us more than the tiredness itself. So, be lazy. Be gloriously, unapologetically lazy. Let the dishes sit in the sink for 1 more hour. Let the email go unanswered until tomorrow. The world will not end, but you might just survive. Protocol number 3, the art of doing nothing, or as the Taoists call it, Wu Wei, effortless action. In our culture, we only rest for one reason, so we can work more later. We treat rest like a pit stop. We rush in, change the tires, fill the tank so we can get back on the racetrack. But this mindset keeps you in the cycle of burnout, because your rest is still tainted by the expectation of future productivity. I want you to practice resting with no end goal. Rest not to work. Rest to exist. This might look like sitting on your porch and watching the leaves move in the wind, not because it will make you more productive tomorrow, but just because the leaves are beautiful and you are alive to see them. It might look like laying on the floor with your dog and just petting his fur for 20 minutes. No agenda, no outcome, just being. When you engage in these moments of purposeless existence, you are feeding your soul. You are reconnecting the severed wire between your body and your spirit. You are reminding yourself that you are a human being, not a human doing. These three protocols, the cave, embracing laziness, and purposeless rest, they sound simple, but for a woman in the sandwich generation, they are acts of rebellion. You are rebelling against a system that views you as a resource to be mined. You are reclaiming your own territory. You are putting up a fence around your remaining energy and saying, "This is mine. This is sacred, and I will not give it away." You might be afraid that if you stop running, everything will fall apart. That is the voice of the fear. The truth is, if you do not stop running, you will fall apart, and then everything else will fall apart anyway. By stopping now, by choosing to survive, you are actually protecting the people you love, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And right now, your cup is not just empty, it is cracked, and we need to give it time to heal. These steps are the first bandages. They will stop the immediate bleeding. They will help you stabilize. But stabilization is just the beginning. Once you have stopped the car, once you have stopped the panic, you will find yourself in a new place, a quiet place. And in that quiet, you might notice something strange. You might notice that even though your body is resting, you still don't feel rested. You might sleep for 10 hours and still wake up feeling heavy. Why is that? Why is physical sleep not enough? This brings us to the edge of a deeper mystery, the mystery of soul exhaustion. And to solve that, we have to go even deeper into the unconscious mind.
We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the biology of stress. We talked about the regression of libido. And we talked about the emergency protocols for when you have absolutely nothing left to give. But before you go, I want to leave you with one final image, one final shift in perspective that might change how you treat yourself tonight. For most of your life, you have treated yourself like a machine. You expect yourself to run endlessly. As long as you put in fuel, food, coffee, sleep, you expect the machine to output work. And when you cannot work, you think the machine is broken. You think you need to be fixed. But you are not a machine. You are a garden. You are organic.
You are cyclical. And right now, you are not broken. You are just in winter. In agriculture, there is a concept called lying fallow. Farmers know that if they plant crops in the same field year after year without stopping, the soil loses all its nutrients. It becomes dust. Nothing will grow there anymore. So what does the farmer do? He lets the field lie fallow. He plants nothing. He does not force the soil to produce. He lets it rest. He lets the rain fall on it. He lets the weeds grow if they want to. He lets the soil recover its own wisdom. You are that field right now. You have been over-harvested. You have given every nutrient you have to your children, to your job, to your parents, to the world. And now, the soil is dry. Your exhaustion is not a sickness. It is nature demanding a fallow season. It is time to let the field rest. Not for a day, not for a weekend, but for a season. This is terrifying for the modern woman because we are taught that if we are not producing, we have no value. But look at the field in winter. It is silent. It looks empty. But deep down, under the surface, life is replenishing itself. So my final invitation to you today is this. Stop trying to fix yourself. Stop trying to hack your way back to productivity. Let yourself lie fallow. Let yourself be the winter field. Trust that the spring will come, but it cannot come until the winter has done its work. I want you to make a declaration, a vow to your own soul. I want you to go down to the comments section right now, and I want you to write just 3 words. 3 words that are a spell of protection. Write, I am stopping. That is it. I am stopping. By writing this, you are telling the world, and more importantly, you are telling your own shadow that you are no longer running. You are parking the car. You are turning off the engine. You are safe. Read the other comments as you scroll. See the thousands of other women who are also stopping today. You are not alone in this winter. We are all here, resting together, waiting for the soil to heal. This video was your survival guide. It was the emergency brake. But survival is just the first step. Once you have stopped running, once you have created your cave, you are going to notice something profound. You might notice that even when you sleep, even when you lay in the dark for hours, you still wake up tired. You still feel a heaviness that sleep cannot touch. Why is that? If you are resting physically, why is your soul still exhausted? Why do so many women in their 50s feel like they never truly wake up refreshed? There is a specific reason for this, a reason that goes beyond biology. It has to do with the invisible workload that follows you even into your dreams. If you want to continue this journey of deep healing, if you want to understand why sleep is not enough, please watch my next video, Waking Up Tired, Why So Many Women in Their 50s Never Feel Rested. In that video, we are going to go deeper than survival. We are going to look at the quality of your rest. We are going to explore the difference between sleep and restoration, and I will show you how to find the kind of rest that actually touches the soul. That is where the real renewal begins.
If this message resonated with you today, if you felt a moment of peace, please consider subscribing to this channel. Think of this channel as your weekly retreat, a place where you do not have to be Superwoman, a place where you can just be you. By subscribing, you are planting a seed for your future self. You are saying yes to the journey inward. Click the like button, not for the algorithm, but as a way of saying thank you to yourself for taking this time, for stopping the car. Share this video with a friend, a sister, a colleague, someone who you know is running on fumes. You might be the person who gives her permission to finally rest. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for being brave enough to stop. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of the fallow season. You are worthy just as you are. Breathe. Let go, and I will see you in the next video.